Hey guys, Paul here at Impulsive Culinarian. Happy New Year! Welcome to my first video of 2018. So glad to be back. And in this video, I want to talk to you about the first of a 4-part series leading up to Valentine's Day. So all of you home chefs, get ready for 4 amazing recipes to blow away your better half. This coming Valentine's Day, we're cooking Indian. Today, Aloo Gobi. So many amazing ways to do Indian food, Punjabi style, and all the different villages and cantons that influence the various dishes that come under the guise of Indian cooking. So we're going to do 4 dishes in time for Valentine's Day, and the first one is Aloo Gobi. It's a potato and cauliflower dish with lots of beautiful spices. You can really kick it up a notch and make it hot, or you can leave it mild. It's up to you. Here are the ingredients you're going to need. Get yourself 1.5 pounds of potatoes, any kind will do, 1 head of cauliflower florets, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a tablespoon of curry powder, 3 tablespoons of dairy-free margarine, 2 medium-sized yellow onions, 4 big cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of fresh ginger, which you're going to finely chop, and then 2 tablespoons of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, half of a cup of white wine, 2 large tomatoes, which you're going to peel and seed, and then lastly, 1 tablespoon of fresh coriander. Let's go cook up an Indian classic. All right, guys, let me show you how to make some potatoes and cauliflower, Indian style, with care. First step, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. All right, so next you want to boil the potatoes, and to do that, you want to get 8 cups of warm water into a big pot. Now to help that water boil quicker, add 2 generous tablespoons of regular salt. So while your water is starting to warm up, before it boils, start peeling your 1.5 pounds of potatoes. 1.5 pounds, it's around 3 good-sized potatoes. You can measure it out if you like, but trust me, that's close enough. So while you're peeling, all right, your water's going to be heating up. Cut them into 1/4 inch dice and add them as you go. So there's my 1.5 pounds of potatoes, guys, chopped up into 1/4 inch dice. Let's get that into the warming water. So that'll take a few minutes to come to a boil. When it does, you want to boil them for 15 minutes, just on a medium boil. Bring the heat down to medium and let them simmer on a gentle boil for 15 minutes, and then they'll be done. You can drain. 1 head of cauliflower. So you want to trim the florets of this cauliflower into roughly the same size pieces as your potato, just to make it consistent throughout the dish. So that, too big. This, more around the right size. All right, so once you've trimmed your cauliflower florets, wow, say that 10 times fast. Cauliflower florets. Get them into a medium-sized mixing bowl and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 generous tablespoon of curry powder. Now you want to season that with a good pinch of salt and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. Now toss that together till everything is nice and combined. So there's a reason Aloo Gobi tastes so damn good. I would snack on this, just like by itself, okay? It hasn't even been roasted. All right, let's get this on a parchment-lined baking dish. Okay, spread those out into a nice even layer. Get them in the center rack for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. I forgot to put the heat on the potato water. I don't know, why is it taking so long to boil? It should be boiling now. Yeah, silly man. Did I mention? Put the potato water on maximum. Yeah. All right, so now's a good time to start chopping some onions, garlic, and ginger. Get them out. 2 medium yellow onions, finely chopped. Now you want around 2 tablespoons of finished product. So I got this really nasty ones with the not my favorite. Anyway, I'm going to say that. Yeah, it's a lot more than 2 tablespoons, but I love ginger. So generous 2, 4. I also love garlic, almost as much as I love ginger. So 4 big cloves or 5 or 6 medium, okay? You be the judge. Oh, the fun part, garlic and ginger, finally done. Hey, yeah. Eureka! The potatoes are boiling. 15-minute timer on those guys. Okay guys, so while we're in prep mode, I'm going to chop up and peel my 2 tomatoes. There's a couple of ways to do it. I prefer the old-fashioned way, which is to quarter them or even eighth them, depending on the size of the tomato, and then get that thin, sharp blade underneath the skin and peel them. However you like. All right, so just an example of what I'm talking about. I cut my tomato into eighths, all right? So once I've got 1/8 of a slice of tomato, I just peel out or punch out the seeds with my thumb. And then I want to get a really sharp knife, guys, and put this on a chopping block and sort of just go with the flow. Just like that. One peeled tomato. Cauliflower's ready. Let's get them out. Oh. They smell awesome and they look delicious. Look at those lovely roasted pieces of cauliflower. Can't wait to add that to my dish. Oh, look at that. Fresh out of the oven. They've nicely roasted on one side. They're beautiful and tender. I could eat that as a snack right now. Gonna set them aside and wait till I'm ready to add them. Okay, so the potatoes have boiled for 15 minutes. Before you take them off the heat, taste one just to make sure that it's cooked at least all the way through. All right, so those are perfectly cooked, just nice and tender, but they still have a little bit of texture to them. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to drain them in a colander in my sink. Then I'm going to take those drained potatoes, put them in a bowl, and I'm going to cover them with cold water and add a tray of ice. I want to shock these. I don't want them to cook one more second, okay? Let's drain our potatoes. Those will not cook any longer. So now that the potatoes are drained and cooling in some ice water, the cauliflower is roasted, the garlic and the ginger are nice and finely chopped, onions are chopped, all that's really left to do before I put it all into a big pan is to finish peeling those tomatoes and chop them up into a nice fine dice. Right, so hardest part done, guys. Prep is always a time-consuming thing, but once you're there and all your amazing roasted, tasty ingredients, cooled, boiled potatoes, this is great. Now we're going to put all this together in a hot skillet. All right, so any home chef will tell you when it comes to non-stick skillets, everyone's got their own favorite, okay? This 12-inch non-stick, it's a very good, hard-working pan here in this house anyhow. I use it for a lot of stuff, anything from warming up tortillas to making stir fries. But when it comes to these high-heat, fast timing dishes, I really prefer my non-stick. It's kind of like a wok, but it's not really. This allows me to get in there with a spoon and sort of mix stuff together more than it would with my wide, flat pan. So I'm going to use this, but guys, any large non-stick skillet will do. Get that over medium heat. So into this hot skillet, 3 generous tablespoons of dairy-free margarine. All right, so while that margarine is melting, go ahead and put your onions right into the skillet. And you want to saute those over medium heat for around 10 minutes until they get nice and soft. You don't want to brown them, but when they start to get translucent, that's when you're ready for the next step. Those potatoes are great. Nicely salted when I did them, but now they're cool and they're firm. Perfect. Dangerous to keep the cauliflower around. That will disappear if I'm not careful. Switch to wine. Cheers! All right, so 9-10 minutes. Just when you start to see a little bit of browning, that's when you want to add in the garlic and the ginger. Yep, it's the most fragrant thing in the world. Onions, ginger, and garlic. That's the base of pretty much almost every Indian recipe I've ever made. And there's a reason for that. It smells fantastic. So once that's been cooking for around a minute, you want to add in your garam masala. And the optional ingredient, if you like it spicy, you can add some chili flakes. An alternative, too, that I find is nice is to add some sriracha sauce. That's also a nice mild heat, whichever you like. I'm going to omit it just in case I can pawn it off on the kids tonight. So with your garlic and ginger and onions, oh, that smells so good. Add the spices, stir that around, and let everything cook together over medium heat for another couple of minutes. Okay, once that garlic has been cooking for a couple of minutes, now you want to add your chopped tomatoes and a half of a cup of white wine. After a couple of minutes in the pan, the white wine is nearly all evaporated, and that smells so good, guys. That's only tomatoes, onions, garlic, well, only. There's a lot of flavorful stuff in there. But now it's time to add the chief ingredient. So while things are simmering away, great opportunity to get some fresh coriander, chop that up nice and fine. Hey, on Valentine's Day, you're going to be a star if your kitchen smells like mine does right now. Trust me, it's fantastic. Okay, so now that that white wine is almost fully evaporated and it's imparted all of its flavor to the dish, get yourself a colander, drain off your potatoes. All right, so now you want to bring the heat down to medium-low and get that cauliflower and those potatoes into the pan. All right, so gently fold this all together. You don't want to ruin those beautiful squares of boiled potato that you've worked so hard to create. So get them all mixed together nicely. All right, so last but not least, guys, add your chopped fresh coriander, cover up the pan. I knew there was a reason why I was using a wok, because I can cover it. That just came to me right now. So put in the fresh herbs, cover the pan, and let it simmer on low for 15 minutes. So in true impulsive nature, guys, I've waited 10 minutes. It's long enough. I want to reveal this. Let's have a look. So I'll admit I kind of know what to expect, but let's have a look at this beautiful simmering deliciousness. Oh, that's gorgeous. All right, the goal of the 15 minutes is not to cook it, but to let those flavors melt together. Let that coriander infuse all of the beautiful potatoes and cauliflower. There's so much flavor going on in here, guys. It's delicious. Now, speaking of flavor, you want to correct the seasonings at this point. Give it a taste, and if you want to, you can add a pinch of salt and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. But guys, I don't think it's going to need that much. All right, just on its own, it tastes fantastic. But you be the judge. Feel free to make it your own. Now, let's plate this. Wow. That is so beautiful. What an incredibly tasty dish. Just wholesome. This is soul food. It is absolutely gorgeous. You got to try this recipe, guys. So there you have it, guys. Some delicious homemade aloo gobi, cauliflower and potatoes. A wonderful Indian dish that is a fantastic addition to your Valentine's Day menu. I highly recommend you try this. So guys, my name is Paul from Impulsive Culinarian. Thanks for watching the first in my 4-part series of Valentine's Day menus. I hope you enjoy this and watch the subsequent ones that are coming up on Saturdays, right up until the big event for the Valentine's Day feast. Now, there's a new series that I'm going to be putting out every Thursday. You can't just serve this up by itself, although it is delicious. Wouldn't it be lovely to have something to put it on? Well, stay tuned this Thursday, guys, my very first edition in the quick and easy menu series that I'm going to be starting this year. All right, of course, the first one has to complement this Valentine's Day menu. It's going to be some toasted cumin basmati. Super simple, guys. You put it together in no time. So I encourage you to check that out. Be sure to join me every Wednesday night for the Wednesday weekly update. I can't wait to get back into it. Over the holidays, let's just say, I tried a couple of bottles, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. My name is Paul from Impulsive Culinarian, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video. Happy New Year!